that His Excellency the President is in our midst right now, and let's give him the welcome that is normally accorded and allow him to proceed to his tent, and thereafter Parliament will resume. If you are following by radio, this is just to inform you that His Excellency has reached the grounds, the counter grounds, and Parliament is now going to resume. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, can we all stand for the national anthem? Please take your seats. Your Excellency, as Parliament of Uganda, we are immensely privileged to benefit from your presence at today's special sitting in Northern Region, and specifically in Gulu. And this sitting is covering the issues, challenges, opportunities that are from West Nile, Gulu, West Nile, Acholi, Lango, and Karamoja. Your Excellency, the sitting of Parliament in Gulu, Northern Region, in Uganda is a historic milestone in the legislative history of Uganda, as it is the first of its kind. It is the first sitting that we are having at regional levels. Your Excellency, the 11th Parliament appreciates your immense support for decisions to take place, to take Parliament to the people at regional sitting. I remember we came and discussed this with you. I came with the Deputy Speaker, and you okayed it. You welcomed the idea, and it is really a very, very good idea. We want to thank you so, so much for that. Your Excellency, the embracement of regional sitting is in pursuit of the legislative vision of a transformed, independent, and a people-centered Parliament. Your Excellency, sir, contrary to what the critics are raising, that the regional sittings of Parliament are costing us a lot, that is not true. The Parliament sitting is legally and procedurally grounded in Article 95, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution of Republic of Uganda, 1995, and Rule 17 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, which empowers the Speaker to convene Parliament at such a place and time through a proclamation. Your Excellency, the regional sitting will exhaustively deliberate upon the most urgent matters that are intricate to the growth and development of a particular host area, and for this case, that is the northern area. And indeed, during yesterday's sitting, the House applauded your leadership in pacification, unification, and development in northern region. 20 years back, this region was not what it is today. The security that you brought to this region. A round of applause for His Excellency. Your Excellency, Northern region has witnessed remarkable transformation, has witnessed in the urban infrastructural growth, especially under the support of municipality infrastructure development, USMID, the establishment of the public university in Gulu, Lira, Arua, the health sector infrastructural growth, and the progressive growth of the private sector. Your Excellency, we also recognize and appreciate the decision to elevate 3 municipalities into cities, and these are notably the Gulu city, Lira city, and then Arua city, plus Moroto. This elevation, Moroto, which is not yet operationalized, but it was passed. This elevation status has created immense opportunities for the region, which, if properly hastened, will bolster the development of this area. Your Excellency, sir, we also recognize that northern Uganda is not a homogeneous society. The different sub-regions within northern Uganda have peculiar realities which impact on their growth and development. However, there are cross-cutting realities, notably the post-war recovery, the high level of poverty, an ever-growing youth population, a fair number of which are unemployed, a large tract of arable land, a vast natural resources, the high influx of refugees, environmental degradation, limited transport infrastructure, heavy reliance on subsistence agriculture, limited value addition to agricultural output, retrogressive cultural practices such as the cattle rustling and subjection of women and girl child, the enormous water resources, lack of health facilities, lack of enough schools For instance, if you look at Gulu, Gulu city does not have an S5 A-level school, and we have a number of issues that affect each and every area, that is West Nile, Acholi, Lango, and Karamoja. Then delayed compensation of war victims and lack of compensation for the land that was taken over during the insurgency. Your Excellency, the sitting specifically took cognizance of the need for mindset change as a major catalyst for increased production and socio-economic transformation in northern region. In addition, the House recognized the need to embrace a viable cash crop, livestock agriculture, agricultural mechanization, and value addition and sustainable organic farming, among others. The sitting recognized the importance of reliable transport and communication infrastructure as enabler of growth and development. To this end, members raised the need for rehabilitation and development of the strategic national road infrastructure in different regions, notably Moroto Kotido, Kabong Karenga Road, Koboko Yumbe Moyo Road, Kitugum Kidepo Road, Nebi Goli Paida Road, Vara Vuru Road. There are so many, plus bridges. There are so many of them, and we shall hand it over to you, including our famous Karuma Bridge that is about to give way. Your Excellency, sir, at the end of this sitting, I will submit to you the memorandum detailing all the specifics of the areas of concern that this House has passed, as that the committees found on ground and need to be worked on in the northern region. Members noted the need to work to ensure the success of the prevailing government development initiatives, such as Emioga. The 4-acre model may not be vital in this area because we have all the land. All we need is to do mechanization, provide some funds in societies, create market for these products, identify the cash crops to be grown in this area, to have a participatory approach to what is being done in area, and have a microcredit scheme by adapting such programs of local realities in order to achieve a meaningful outcome in the region. Your Excellency, sir, at the end of the sitting, we will transmit these resolutions for your relevant action as the Chief Finance Minister of this country. All these relate to finances. Our work is to find out what is lacking, but at the end of the day, it all comes back to the Chief Finance Minister, who is none other than your good self. As the leader of legislature, as the leaders of legislature, we intend to have regional sittings as a salient aspect of our legislative culture and vision for taking parliament to the people, we being a people-centered parliament. And we believe in evidence-based legislation. And the evidence-based legislation can ably be done by our committees who go to the ground and find what is happening on the ground and report back to Parliament. Your Excellency, sir, I now want to take the singular honor of inviting you to address the House and by extension, Northern Region and Uganda on issues that is affecting this region. And just like you've told us that you have only 1 hour here, we had a small motion, if you can allow us, a small motion that can take about 20 minutes, and then you address the House. I don't know how, if you find it fit, Your Excellency, would you allow that? Thank you so much. Honorable Kimosho.
Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Your Excellency the President, honorable colleagues, I'm now disorganizing that protocol, but allow me to continue. This is a motion for a resolution of Parliament paying tribute to His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Haburwa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, for the visionary leadership of Uganda People's Defense Forces in safeguarding the peace and security of Northern Region, Acholi, Lango, West Nile, and Karamoja. Whereas Article 209A of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda provides for the function of the Uganda People's Defense Force as a preservation and defense of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Uganda, aware that the Lord's Resistance Army caused conflict in the northern region between the period of 1986 to 2007 onwards, making it one of Africa's longest conflict, occasioning humanitarian crisis and widespread of human rights violations, such as death of more than thousands of civilians, abductions of children, rape, mutilation, displacement of civilians, torture, slavery, use of children soldiers, and mass destruction of property. Further, aware that the West Nile sub-region further experienced insurgency from the Uganda National Rescue Front. 2, the Lord's Resistance Army and the Holy Spirit Movement led by Ursula Quena, who waged war against the National Resistance Movement government in 1986 onwards, leading to a loss of thousands of lives and property and gross abuse of human rights. Recognizing that through His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's visionary leadership, the Uganda People's Defense Forces has over the years successfully combated the activities of the rebel groups in northern Uganda, including disarmament in Karamoja, which has resulted in 2, liberation, pacification, and guaranteeing peace and security in the region and in the entire country. Further, recognizing that under the leadership and guidance of His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the cessation of hostilities agreement between the government of the Republic of Uganda and the Lord's Resistance Movement was entered in 2006 with the purpose of assembling LRA forces in safety and security, calling on the parties to end propaganda between them, and through it, there was a significant reduction of violence in northern Uganda, allowing many displaced people to return to their homes and beginning rebuilding their lives. Appreciating that His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni facilitated and supported initiatives aimed at reintegration of former road resistance army and other rebel combatants and abductees into society through programs for disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration. Further appreciating the tireless efforts of the leadership of Uganda People's Defense Forces working under the guidance of His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni towards the continued peace and security in northern Uganda and Uganda generally, cognizant of the fact that His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has strongly championed peace and security within Uganda and neighboring countries like South Sudan, Somalia, Democratic Republic of Congo, among others, by continuing to pursue the Lord's Resistance Army remnants and ensure regional security. Now, therefore, be resolved that Parliament appreciates 1. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tuhabura, for his visionary, insightful, and decisive leadership in spearheading the deliberate efforts to restore peace and security in northern Uganda and Uganda at large. 2, the Uganda People's Defense Forces for eliminating the rebel groups and fostering the security of lives and property and providing conducive environment in the northern Uganda and Uganda generally for economic and social transformation. 3, the religious leaders, cultural leaders, political leaders, and local community for their tireless contribution towards the peace-building efforts in dialogue, promotion of reconciliation, and reintegration of former combatants and abductees into society. I beg to move. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues.
Thank you, Honourable Kimosho. Would you love to justify your motion? Is it seconded? Is the motion seconded? Seconded by Okini PP, by Akol Anthony, by Honorable Okot, Honorable Lucy, Honorable Gilbert. Gilbert, why are you sitting back? By Honorable Gilbert, Honorable Ngetho, Honorable, I'm looking at the northern team who have felt this. By the hollow side, by the hollow house, Honorable Obua, Honorable Feta, Honorable Isaac Otimugui, Honorable Tom Azar, Honorable Awogon, Honorable David Lagen, Honorable Omona, the Minister, Honorable Amos Okot, Honorable Maneno, Honorable Kaduchu, by the Hollow House. Can you justify?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues. Right Honourable Speaker, yesterday, as we started our first ever regional parliamentary meeting, while I was seated in the tent, I had a reflection about what is happening here, Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues. And in my mind and in my heart, I felt this was extraordinary. Extraordinary not because we are in Gulu, extraordinary not because the parliament has come here, extraordinary because I reflected on what used to be here and what is here and what it has taken to put what is in place in northern Uganda and in Gulu in particular. I felt, Right Honourable Speaker, that it has taken extraordinary effort by the visionary leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, guiding the Uganda People's Defense Forces, a force that has sacrificed for over 20 years, trying to stabilize the northern region. I reflected, Right Honourable Speaker, a situation where they used to tell us that guns would be singing in different tones, alto, bass, and soprano, from morning to evening. that this place, there would never be a convergence of family. People were at the run. That the pictures we used to see of people having padlocks on their lips. Right Honorable Speaker, it dawned onto my mind and heart that this cannot be taken for granted. That this effort, Right Honorable Speaker, ought to be recognized and appreciated by the whole Parliament and Uganda at large. That now, Right Honorable Speaker, yesterday, we had a force of less than even 100 UPDF and police combined, and everyone was secure. Right Honorable Speaker, in the evening, we walked on the streets of Gulu, up to like 10 kilometers inside, for jogging and health fitness purposes. And everyone was enjoying themselves. Well, we all, and it was tarmac. Actually, it is more exemplary than most of the towns in this country. And you don't want to imagine that that has happened naturally. You want to think that this happened because there was a purposeful and visionary leadership of both the nation and UPDF as an institution of government. But very finally, Right Honorable Speaker, I felt that we need to appreciate the extraordinary patriotic and the visionary spirit of the President. Right Honorable Speaker, even some of us members of Parliament and the other big rich men in town, whoever gets in money thinks of transferring their homes in those countries. I felt that for the President to have fought for peace since 60s up to now, and later on integrated his son, who is a general, and who made the last assault on Kony in Garamba, and delivered the tranquility that we see, it is also worth thanking the President for. And our appreciation also goes to all the UPDF commanders, but also General M.K. Mhozi Kainerugaba for the last assault and effort that he took in Garamba. I beg to move, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Kimosho. We'll have 1 seconder from West Nile, Lango, Acholi, Karamojong. Let's start with Honorable Amwaka. I have you'll bear with me. The President has only remaining 30 minutes with us. He has other things. But because he loves Northern Uganda, that's why he has been able to come here. Your Excellency, Gulu city is the most clean city that you can ever talk of. Very clean. And these people moved the whole night. The place is so peaceful. Honorable Amwaka, just 2 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion that Parliament pays tribute to HE General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, for the commendable leadership of the Uganda People's Defense Forces in safeguarding the security of the west of this part of the region, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the visionary leadership of His Excellency the President, as we today celebrate one of his greatest achievements in ensuring peace in this part of the region, has manifested itself, Right Honorable Speaker, by the sitting of this Parliament in this part of the region. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with the mover of the motion and second the motion because of the result of all that the President has done in ensuring peace in this part of the region. For those of you who have ever lived in a war-torn area will agree with me that life in a state of war is a life that you never wish to live in after war. Right Honorable Speaker, this part of the region was inaccessible for most of the Ugandans, but today, because of the peace that has been ushered in, we here celebrate our President Yoweri Museveni. We also celebrate the contribution by the UPDF in pacifying this part of the region and the whole country. Right Honorable Speaker, notably, we want to also recognize key individuals who made heavy contributions in ensuring that we achieve peace in this part of the region, Right Honorable Speaker. Notably, as we celebrate the achievement in peace, Right Honorable Speaker, we recognize our fallen sons of the soil who contributed heavily in contributing peace in this part of the region. The late Paul Lokech, the late General Keta, Right Honorable Speaker, the late Colonel Ochora, among children of the soil who contributed heavily in bringing peace in this part of the region. Unfortunately, there are no more. We pray that the good Lord rest their souls in eternal peace. Right Honorable Speaker, today we also celebrate our very own commander of the UPDF, General Ken Rugaba, for his heavy contribution. You are aware, honorable colleagues, that at one point he was also in operation in Garamba. And this is something notably that honorable colleagues cannot go unmentioned. Honorable members of parliament, we celebrate the contribution of our religious leaders, but also among those who served in the UPDF and still serving, some of the good generals like the Lieutenant General Charles Otema Awany. He's among the people who comes from this part of the region. And of course, we have to celebrate. Right Honorable Speaker, when you hear the celebration coming from the tent, definitely I want to believe that the members do agree with me on his contribution in this part of the region. Right Honorable Speaker, as I continue in appreciating the move of the motion, it is important that today we also celebrate our religious leaders. I'm aware that Archbishop Emeritus John Baptist Odama is here. We recognize his heavy contribution in bringing peace in this part of the region. Right Honorable Speaker, we recognize the contribution of the Acholi Religious Leaders Peace Initiative. We recognize the contribution of the Cultural Institution of the Acholi, Lango, West Nile for their heavy contribution in bringing peace. Madam Speaker, as I go to conclude, the biggest problem that we have ahead now as we celebrate the peace that has been ushered in is managing the peace. Madam Speaker,
there is a procedural matter. Honorable members, yes, a call.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I raise on procedural issue. Right, Honorable Speaker, I was very excited and very happy when Honorable Dan came out with this motion, and I seconded it. I stood up. But at a point when he was talking about how peaceful this area is, I thought the seconder will raise some of the issues that we have in northern Uganda after the war, which need to be addressed. But the fact that she is concluding without talking about the issue of compensation of the war-affected people in northern Uganda, where we are talking about the livestock compensation, we are talking about life which is lost in northern Uganda.
Honorable,
we also have to talk about the
call.
conflict which is still ongoing in Apa. I think we will be missing this particular session that I was happy about. Right, Honorable Speaker, are we proceeding right?
We are proceeding very, very well. If you had my opening remarks, I talked about the post-war, I talked about the issue of compensation, I talked about the issue of the land, and where I said I will hand over the memorandum to the president, because these are issues that must be handled. Even after us achieving the peace in this area, this must be handled. when you see a woman defending what happened during that time, personally, I was in Gulu, you know it very well, where you would go and sleep just in Bobby here for 1 week. You cannot come back to Gulu, you cannot proceed, you're under siege. It is, and I'm giving all the women to second, because women would be raped by you people. Yes, can you conclude?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for your wise ruling. Right Honourable Speaker, as I go to conclude, yes, we have achieved the peace. But I want to state very clearly that we are in the process of managing the peace. And there are salient challenges that, colleagues, you agree with me, that need to be attended to. For those of you who have been in the town, Gulu City, when you move late in the night in some other parts of the suburb of the city, we have so many young people, children and youth, who are stranded and living in the street children and the young people. And this is the result of the armed conflict that has been in the region. According to the statistics that you've got, Madam Speaker, so far we have about 2,000 street children and young people who are stranded in the streets, snatching women's handbag, grabbing money around in the local markets around. And Right Honourable Speaker, life is becoming, we are getting back in a state of where there is no actual peace again in the real community where these women are living. So we need to deal with how to address the questions, the plight of these children who are living in the street, Madam Speaker. I want to implore Parliament and Your Excellency the President to ensure a special program for these street children in Gulu and the neighboring districts of Gulu City to settle down the children who are in the street. Right, Honourable Speaker. Secondly, there are special programs of government coming in the area, but of course when you look at the impact and how they are being received by the community, there's a lot of gap. This is coming because of mindset problem. Right, Honourable Speaker, many people have talked about the question of mindset. What is bringing this? This is a result of the armed conflict. After the war, they brought in the program of PRDP. But PRDP had the component of ensuring that we address the question of psychosocial support. And this was not dealt with comprehensively, Right Honourable Speaker. And for this reason, we rushed quickly to implement development programs. We left the aspect of psychosocial support, Right Honourable Speaker. And that is why today, when we are living in our community, we have so many children who have returned from captivity. We have so many children who are born in captivity. They have nowhere they can belong. And these are people who need to be attended to psychologically very closely, Right Honourable Speaker. And they're in our community. I pray that as we celebrate the achievement of peace today, it is very crucial, Right Honourable Speaker, that we provide support to the children who have returned from captivity, to provide support as far as psychosocial development is concerned, so that even the government programs that are coming, like PDM and the others, could be appreciated by our people. Because once you don't address the mindset of the people, we may not be able to do a lot. Right Honourable Speaker, as I finally make my last statements, Madam Speaker, sir, I want to, Madam Speaker, as we celebrate the peace that has been ushered in by the President and the contribution of the UPDF in bringing the peace, it is very important that we look at the impact of the armed conflict that has been so devastating in the region and design special affirmative action programs that can deal with it. We have vast land, but the utilization of the land per household, land holding is 10 acres to 12 acres, 15 acres, but usage is only 3 acres. There are capacity gaps in terms of how we can utilize the land that we have. These are results of the armed conflict. I pray, Madam Speaker, that colleagues do support the motion that has been raised by my honourable colleague, that we do appreciate the President and the UPDF in bringing peace in this part of the region. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honourable Lamwaka. Your Excellency, we may need a presidential skilling hub in this region to help us with the youth, and we need counseling of these children, because some of them are born out of that situation there. Honorable Aliek, 1 minute.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I would like to thank the mover of the motion to pay great tribute to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. I'm really seconding this motion, Right Honorable Speaker, and I would like to thank His Excellency, the President, for safeguarding peace in northern Uganda. We are now enjoying peace in Lango sub-region, in Acholi sub-region, in West Nile, and in Karamoja. Right Honorable Speaker, without peace, there is no development that can be brought in any region of this country or in the world. We first of all want peace, and that is the priority that we are talking about. Lango sub-region was equally affected by insurgency for more than 20 years, that our people were in the internally displaced people's camps. Right Honorable Speaker, we now see this peace. We only need to fight poverty, to increase household income, and to promote mechanization of agriculture, and to do what it takes to bring money in the families, to bring money in the pockets of our people. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to continue to say that His Excellency the President is here with us. He made several developmental plans in this country. He put several developmental plans in his manifesto for Lango, for Acholi, and for northern Uganda as a whole. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to interest His Excellency the President that may he consider fulfilling most of his pledges, because there are others that have been overdue, including cattle compensation that is going very slowly. We want him to really go back and say, this time round, before the elections of 2026, that we are taking him back as the President of the Republic of Uganda, and we are saying, Your Excellency the President, we beg you to fulfill most of these pledges. You know them. Your Excellency, we are really happy that you consider this Parliament as a very important arm of government, and we are here to interact with you, although we shall listen to you in silence according to the rules of procedure of the Parliament of Uganda. Your Excellency, you have done a great deal in this country. We wish you long live as you still continue to lead this country in the way you are doing it, because the steady progress that we are seeing is something that we have to appreciate. Long live the Right Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. Long live the Parliament of Uganda, all the members of Parliament who are here and deliberating on the issues of northern Uganda. Long live government of Uganda, and long live everybody in this country. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nakot, then Honorable Jessica. Honorable members, please sit. 1 minute.
Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here to second the motion to pay tribute to the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and to the UPDF for the job well done in securing our country. Right Honorable Speaker, I was born and raised in Karamoja. I grew up hearing bullets. I grew up knowing that we have to hide and run for our lives, for safety. I grew up knowing that bullets were a medium of exchange in our markets. I grew up seeing boys and men carrying guns in their shoulders and using it as their walking sticks, and they could use it on anyone who offends them. It was extremely insecure growing up in that part of the country. Before my parents died, every evening as they returned home alive, we celebrated, because at least we knew that we were one day short of being orphans. That is the story for every child that has grown in Karamoja. That time, the guns in our region exceeded the number of guns in some of the ESC countries. It seemed impossible that insecurity would be solved. It seemed impossible that guns would go silent at some point. Until 2006, when against all odds, against all the negative publicity, the UPDF, under the able leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, took a bold step to disarm the people of Karamoja. It was not an easy task. I witnessed the disarmament process. I witnessed when the soldiers died. The commanders, I saw their bodies in parts of Karamoja. I am a witness to the level of sacrifice of the men in uniform, the UPDF. At some point I asked myself, what was the motivation? Up to today, I cannot find the answers. That spirit of sacrifice, the revolutionary spirit, I do not know how the commander-in-chief inculcated that revolutionary spirit in the UPDF. A spirit that doesn't see impossibilities. In 2010, exercise, Madam Speaker, in 2010 up to 2007, for the first time in my life, I slept without hearing a bullet. And it's the same for the people that lived in Karamoja. For 7 consecutive years, the UPDF proved to us that it was possible to pacify that part of the country. In 2018, we imagined that Karamoja was now peaceful and the UPDF had to be deployed to secure some other parts of the country. As if these criminals knew that the people that had subdued them were now going. They came back. And that was the insecurity we were debating in this house when I seconded a motion of Honorable Anthony Esenu. I want to thank this parliament and to thank the President of Uganda for listening to that motion, to do a second disarmament exercise. Otherwise, if they had not done that last year, maybe perhaps the members of parliament from Karamoja who are here wouldn't even be here now, because the situation was again bad. The UPDF have mastered the art of dealing with the criminal elements in Karamoja, especially those who carry their guns and misuse it to destroy the peace of others. I want to stand here to support the cause of the UPDF, to support that if a budget appears in this parliament the way it has been appearing, we just maintain it. Right, Honorable Speaker, in the same revolutionary spirit that the NRM subdued the gun in Karamoja, I have the conviction that in that spirit they can subdue the scourge of poverty in that region. A region that has continuously reduced the numbers of wealth creators in the country, that has spoiled the indicators of this country. I have a strong belief that if we attacked this menace with the same revolutionary spirit, and the UPDF can deliver it for us, that we will be there with the rest of the country on the same line. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is my appeal that even as we celebrate these great achievements of the UPDF, not only in Karamoja, but in the country as a whole, that the transition from insecurity to sustainable peace doesn't be rushed. That the withdrawal or the decline of the UPDF in Karamoja should not be rushed. Otherwise, the same criminal elements who came back in 2018 can come back fierce and worse than they were in 2018, and they could harm our people the more. That is my appeal, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the second appeal. Given the level of the orphans, the number of the orphans that this war created in this belt of the country, not just in Karamoja, in West Nile, in Acholi, in Lango, and in Karamoja, the statistics indicate that over 60% of our children are actually orphaned. Perhaps that's the reason we're having a crisis of teenagers whom we don't know how to deal with. It is my appeal that government will consider a special fund to support the orphans that have come up as a result of the war. I submit, Right Honorable.
In education, you have a motion on education for the Karamoja region, and Honorable Jessica. Kindly, the President has other engagements.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, and the entire House. I am seconding the motion to recognize, appreciate, and celebrate the efforts put by our head of state and other patriots for the peace, security, and sustainable governance that Uganda is enjoying. I am a child of the soil. I want first to appreciate the peace at hand, which we never had. The security at hand, which we never had. Good governance at hand, which we never had. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we thank His Excellency so much with other patriots for the work well done. Leadership is chosen by God. From the book of Psalm, chapter 13, verse 14. Therefore, we want to thank God for the Son, His Excellency, who has been ordained and given to this country so that we get liberated. As West Nilers, we were refugees in South Sudan. We were refugees in Congo. The President did a very remarkable work. When he took over power, he requested us to come back to Uganda. If you did not do that, Your Excellency, probably we will have changed our nationality, remained in Congo, remained in South Sudan. Your Excellency and the patriots of Uganda helped us to have peace, which we did not have, security which we did not have, because we are in the hands of people who did not recognize human rights. We got tortured. We were massacred. We vividly remain indebted to you because we remember the Umbachi massacre, the Atiak massacre, and because of the peace, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, though with a lot of pains, we organize memorial services. This region was labeled a lot of names, negative names. As we are seated here, those who are in Gulu in our region have now changed mindsets. We were called Anyanya. because this region was characterized with bloodshed. Here we are, seated comfortably, deliberating because of the fruits of His Excellency the President and other patriots of this country. Your Excellency, allow me say this. We leaders of West Nile and people of West Nile have listened to you carefully for all these years. We are changed people. We have learned from you. We appreciate the systems you have put in place. We now want you, with your team, we are requesting you and your team to help us to have economic liberation. We have learned. We are your ambassadors. We are your disciples. We are ready to lead our people. I want to end by giving special appreciation to you and the entire government, because the conversation we are asking you to do is not because of your bad deeds. You are acting fatherly to compensate people because of the bad deeds of other people. Therefore, Your Excellency, we plead with you to continue with the godly spirit to compensate us, especially West Nile. We have never seen any coin. And people are labeling us negatively. We are your ambassadors. I end by saying, may God continue to bless your family. May God continue to bless our son, MK. Your Excellency, we are here as your children. We are here as your disciples. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, and the entire House. Thank you so much.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, in the interest of time, first of all, we need to thank His Excellency for coming, because he has a lot, but because of the love he has for Northern Region, the love he has for Parliament, he had to squeeze 30 minutes to be with us, and the minutes have even gone. We really want to thank you for that. Your Excellency, this team that we have here really is very grateful with what you've done in the Northern Region. They really appreciate, but there's still a little more to be done. When you talk about Chene, we need Chene in the pockets of our people. And we can only have the Chene in the pocket once you bring what they have just mentioned. But even when you have the money, for those who don't know our language, Chene is money. Even if we have the goods, we mechanize, but we need the roads to be worked for us to be take the goods to the market. We need these roads to be worked. Honorable Minister of Works has information. We have given him all the roads that are supposed to be worked on, and he will come and share with you. I now put a question that the motion for resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to His Excellency the President General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Commander-in-Chief of Uganda People's Defense Forces, for the visionary leadership of Uganda People's Defense Forces in safeguarding the peace, security of Northern Region, that is Acholi, Lango, West Nile, and Karamoja, be adopted by this Honorable House. Those in favor say under control and nay. The ayes have it, and Your Excellency, we want to congratulate you so much, and we want to thank the team that is able to come here. We want to thank General Salim Saleh, who is here, a resident of Gulu. Where is he? General Salim Saleh, you're most welcome. And we want to thank you so much for coming. We have in our VIP gallery, we have Honorable Trodong Richard, Right Honorable Trodong Richard, so that when you're addressing, you know the people who are here. We have Mr. His Grace, the Archbishop Emeritus, Odama. Odama has been very influential in this region. I have Mr. Arbitre Stephen LOC5 Maracha. We have Mr. Atul Sam, Mayor Lira City. We have Mr. Arach Emmanuel, LOC5 Noya. We have Mr. Okwanga Alfred, Mayor Gulu City. Mr. Opio Moses, Chief Administrative Officer Abim. Mr. Tolit James, Town Clerk Claro Peche, Gulu City. We have Mr. Martin Okumu, Deputy Prime Minister Ker Kwano Acholi. Reverend Father Matthew Okun Lagor, Project Manager of the Cassava Program in Northern Region. That is for validation. Mr. Ojok Samuel Kitanga, District Speaker Agago. Mr. Arai Christopher Abor, LOC5 Kitugum. Mr. Okwiri Patrick, City Speaker Lira. Mr. Wadri Sam, Mayor Arua. Mr. Lotte Paul, Kotido District. Miss Akelo Alice Opio, RDC Gulu. Mr. Okelo Francis, RDC Amolota. Mr. Okwise May, Gulu District Retired RDC. Mr. Otim Otto Dennis, the cow of Lira. We'll continue announcing as they bring. We have the RDC of Gulu Amongin, right there, yellow girl. Honorable members, following the extensive deliberations that we have had on the state of transport infrastructure in Northern Region, the Minister will hand over our issues to the President for onward action to be taken, especially on issues of the critical roads, the national roads, the bridges, the waterways, and air drones in this region. It is our plea, Your Excellency, that we work on this as a fountain of honor. We know there's nothing that is impossible. You'll handle, and we want to put Northern Region at a level of other regions. We should be able to put, as Parliament of Uganda, our focus now is on Northern Region. We want Northern Region, much as the peace has come, but we want the peace in the pockets also to be there. We want to thank you. I now want to take this singular honor to invite you, Your Excellency, to speak to the members of Parliament, to the people of Northern Region, and by extension to the country.
Sit down, please. The Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, all the distinguished persons who are here, I want to thank Parliament for passing a motion recognizing the work of the UPDF and the NRM in pacifying northern Uganda and pacifying the whole country. What you need to know, this is important for you if you are going to
make useful contribution is that the ability of the UPDF to do what has defied other governments, because like the insecurity of Karamoja was not new at all. It had been there even in the colonial times. It only got worse after 1979, when the Mafeniko, one of the tribes of Karamoja, looted their arms in Moroto barracks after the Amin soldiers ran away. They were able to get automatic weapons, which they had not so much before. But otherwise, the insecurity was there all the time, even in the colonial times. Now, the reason we were able to do these tasks is because of three things, which if you are really interested, you could listen to. Number one, ideology. The Honorable Jessica Ababiku is telling you, which I don't hear many people talking about, that by 1986, 500,000 people from West Nile were in exile in South Sudan and in Congo. Uganda was number 4 in the whole world in the export of refugees. It was competing with Ethiopia, Afghanistan, and I think Sudan. Uganda was number 4 in the export of the refugees. And what had the West Nilers run away from? From ideological bankruptcy. Because you remember, I was part of fighting Idi Amin. Nobody can say he fought Idi Amin more than I did. But as we were fighting Idi Amin, we always told our people and everybody that, look here, don't blame the mistakes of Idi Amin on all the West Nilers. Because all these things Amin is doing, he doesn't consult the people in West Nile, the villagers. He does them with a small clique of idiots. And don't blame the people of West Nile for this. Even when we were fighting UPC, it was the same. We told our cadres, don't blame the people of northern Uganda, of Acholi, Lango, for the mistakes of Obote. Distinguish between the misleaders and the misled. This is the line of the NRM. Always make a distinction between the misleaders, who are few, and the misled, who are many, even if they are misled. But in many cases, most of the masses are not even involved at all. It's just small groups of people. So when we took over, when we defeated Amin in 1979, we had formed UNLF. There was a group called UNLF, which was like NRM. We were telling these people, please, wait, you are UPC and you are DP based on Catholics for DP, Protestants for UPC. Please, give us a holiday. Let's have a united group, UNLF. But they couldn't listen. They took advantage of the fact that we had our Tanzanian brothers here who didn't know our situation. They moved and they brought back the bankruptcy of the old politics of sectarianism. So those massacres, those are Babikus who must have been either children or in the womb. I don't think they were even there. I think it was the wombs which were running away. The running started in 1980, not 1979. 1979, we had, because we were together with the Tanzanians, we were with the UNLF, and we had said, isolate Amin. Don't blame the people of West Nile for the mistakes of Amin. But when they brought back their UPC and their nonsense DPs, that's how the problem came up. You West Nilers, you are relatives of Idi Amin, so we kill you. Imagine, to be killed because of my relative. Bankruptcy. So if you say that you really appreciate, you better understand. So that's number one, ideology. We believe in individual responsibility. We cannot blame a group for the mistakes of one member of that group. That is point number one. And we never believe in sectarianism. So the first reason why we are able to do what Nakut, I thought Nakut was a cadre. Now I've discovered she's still a Karamajong. Because Nakut was saying, I can't understand why these people, why they sacrifice so much. Yes, if you are convinced, we are always celebrating the Martyrs' Day in Namugongo on the 3rd of June. Young people who refused to denounce religion, and they were killed by Mwanga. On the 9th of May, we are already celebrating Martyrs' Day, Heroes' Day. For us, we are not just martyrs, we were heroes. We have both martyrs, but also we have heroes, because martyrs die without resistance. Heroes, they can kill you if you are not careful. As you try to kill them. So on the 9th, we celebrate the Heroes' Day. People who stood because of conviction. If you are convicted of something, you will stand. So the first reason how we were able to do what these other groups failed to do is because of ideology. Secondly, discipline. What Nakut was saying, how the cattle rustling came back in 2018, it was not just the removal of the troops. There were also some mistakes by our commanders, corruption. They stole the money of the LDUs. You know, we had Karamojong LDUs. And they stole their money. They didn't pay them. And you know how confused the Karamojong groups are. So they said, okay, so if you are not paying us, we are going to raid. That's how it all started. There was also another man, I've forgotten his name. Is it Achuchu? Achuchu, the one whose wife they took when he was in jail. And when he came from jail, he said, you better repress my wife who was taken. They just looked at him. He went and raided cattle to buy another woman. That's how it all started again. So it was the carelessness of our people, the corruption. But the third reason how we succeed is the Banyankole proverb. Okumtoguri enshojunkwitegwa. You make the hairstyle according to the shape of the head. If you have got a head with big bones like this, the hairstyle will follow the shape of the head. When we are budgeting, this is very important for you fellows. How could we build such a powerful army with very little money? Because we budget we plan according to our small budget. That's why when we are building the army, we don't start with the barracks. The barracks don't look so smart. We start with the personnel, the training, and the weapons. Soldiers are staying in some Mama Ingia Pole, but the one in Mama Ingia Pole can also kill you, like the one coming from a Gorofa. So that's how we have been managing. If you look at the budget of Uganda, it was like $500 million some years ago. You look at the budgets of other African countries, big, billions. So because of that budgeting according to the shape of the head, the hairstyle according to the shape of the head, that's how we manage. Three things: ideology, discipline, and realism in budgeting. Don't budget unrealistically. So I'm glad you are having your conference here, and I've been hearing what you have been saying, but straight away I can tell you that the things to do are very many. You can't do all things at the same time. So I take you back to the Bible. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and the rest will be added unto you. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and the rest will be added unto you. We have been telling you and telling everybody since the 1960s that whatever you do, if you want the people to develop, start with the homestead incomes. Start with the homestead incomes. Because we are now talking of roads, what. There are where roads are good. The road from Gulu to Kampala is definitely good. It's not about the problem of the bridge is a recent one. It has just come now. Otherwise, the road was good. All the way from Matiak, from Bibia, was tarmac all the way to Kampala. The one from Musingo, Kitugum, Gulu, all the way to Kampala. What are you selling along that road? I know there is some simsim from Kitugum, but what else? So, from the 1960s, we have been telling all those who care to listen to us that please seek ye first the homestead incomes, and the rest will be added unto you. In 2018, I made a countrywide tour, zone by zone, and I gave you this booklet where I talked of the 4 sectors and the 7 ways for wealth creation and job creation. I had the speaker, I want to speak up, don't please bring a new confusion by saying that the 4 acres model does not apply here. It does. I don't agree with that line. In this booklet, I made it clear that the 4 acres model was a rescue operation for the parts of the country that had already fragmented land. That's why I said, since you have very few acres, do not make sure the chura, I normally use our words here, the chura, the aymar, the otita, the chivaro is correct. Because if you don't, you will never get out of poverty. That's why I said, for the 4 acres and less, 7 activities, 7 enterprises. Coffee, 1 acre. Fruits, 1 acre. Pasture for dairy, 1 acre. 1 acre for foodstuff like cassava. In the backyard, you put poultry for eggs. You put piggery for pigs. Then if you are near a wetland, fish farming. And when you do that, you get millions of shillings, even if you are doing it on a very small scale. We are giving you the examples of the Nyakanas and so on. And I called this here in this booklet, intensive agriculture. Use intensive agriculture with high-value enterprises to get out of poverty using a smaller piece of land which you have, either 4 acres or less. But even if you have got more, there's no harm. Instead of having 1 acre of coffee, have 4. What is the problem? You can still use the same even if you have a bigger land. And 10 acres you are talking about, because I want you to make the chura, not just talk. Now, I want the chura of the average land holding in the north. When I fly over coming the way I was like this morning, the area is not, that land, if you look at the gardens, from especially Lango, I'm not so sure how many people, that Lango, the southern side, the Maruzi and those areas, near Kokoro, the Amoratar, the population seems to be heavy. Because from the air I can see garden next to garden. You don't see much bush anymore. Even here, coming here, the areas of Minakuru, all they were coming here. The areas where I see some emptiness are the areas after Bariregi, going to Agago. Yes, I can see some space there, and some parts of the Kaparabiong, the other side of Teso. But some of the, like Teso, Serere, Ngora, very, 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 population seems to be quite high. So what chura are you using? Don't waste our time again by bringing confusion here. This confusion, no, please. Even if you say 10 acres, because there are two strategies. Intensive agriculture is the 4 acres I'm talking about. But even if you have got 10, you can use the same for more land. You will be very rich. But the other one is extensive agriculture. When I was in Ajumani, my brother Moses Ari was talking about cotton. Then I said, okay, cotton. How much do I get from cotton in an acre? They said 1 million shillings without deducting costs. So, if it is true, and when you are discussing, please go into those details. Don't just talk and pass resolution and deceive yourselves. I'm really no longer interested in that type of approach. So, even if you say cotton, you will get 1 million shillings gross from 1 acre. Even if you have got 12 acres, as you say, because somebody was saying that you have big land, 12 acres. 12 acres is not big land. Unless you get another word for big. If you are saying Madit, is it Madit or Madwong? 12 acres is not a lot. So if you have got 10 acres, 2 acres are for food. You remain with the 10 acres. If you get 1 million from 1 acre, is 10 million enough? So I want the real chura, please, Right Honorable Speaker. Chura, not just talking. The ones, I advised the cotton group, There are people with big land. I have big land. And there are other people. I said, you register us, we who have got big land. Let us produce cotton for you. I can put 100 acres of my land to cotton out of patriotism. I don't need cotton. But if the country needs cotton, I can grow it for them. 100 acres, even if I get 1 million per acre, that's 100 million. Of course, 100 million is not too much money for me, but I don't mind. I'm doing it for the country. Now, if you were to do 1,000 acres of cotton, you would get 1 billion. So it is true that you can get good money from low-value crop like cotton if you do it on a really big scale. But 10 acres is not big scale, so don't confuse our people with just new confusion. It is extensive agriculture versus intensive agriculture. For me, anything less than 20 acres, this is the problem of Busoga, because we told our Busoga people, please, ebikado, kamara. Ebikado, how much are you getting from 1 acre? First of all, ebikado don't mature for 2 years. 18 months, the ebikado is still growing. When you harvest it, omusoga alirudawa. Ngweno omusoga wano bwino kyakulaga idano tukobere ekibalo ky'ebikado. If I have got 1 acre, what will I get from ebikado after 18 months?
Your Excellency, if you have 1 acre and you plant and wait for 18 months, at the current level of pricing, then you harvest and get about 6 million shillings. 6 million shillings.
Gross.
Uh-huh. And the cost involves, first of all, the initial preparation, and then buying the planting material. And the planting material is expensive. And then after that, you have to look after the garden for the 18 months. And very often, for those who don't have the land, before you plant the cane, you have to hire the land. So the cost is very high.
Is it like 40% what?
The cost is much higher than 40%. Because it is labor intensive.
More than half?
More than a half.
Yeah, so from now, okay, let's get one of cotton. The one who knows cotton, who will tell us about the cotton? And maize. Maize. Because in my 7 activities here, I don't recommend cotton, I don't recommend maize, I don't recommend ebikado, I don't recommend tea. People are crying with the tea now.
Excellency, I can talk about the maize.
How much would I get from 1 acre in a year in maize?
Maize for 1 acre.
An acre?
1 acre of maize, you get about 2 million shillings for a season if you have used very good practices, yes, I'm talking from experience because I grow maize myself. The last season, I got 2 million per acre. However, the cost of
per acre,
Honorable members, can we have some
per
silence?
season.
2 million per acre per season.
So that's 4.
If you have very good practices,
So that's
including using good seed, using either manure or fertilizer, so that you get about
4 million in a year.
Yes, about 4 million in a year.
And the costs?
And the cost would go to about 3 million shillings.
Out of the 4?
Out of the 4 million.
So 1 million. Okay, Tiama, Oya Tiami. Or Pamba, the one of Pamba, who can tell us about Pamba? Pamba.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm Isaac Otimiki from Nebi District in West Nile, one of the areas that grows cotton. In average, an acre of cotton will produce between 600 to 800 kilograms per acre. But because of the unstable prices of cotton, whereby last year, the last season, prices went as low as 1,500 shillings per kilo.
That's how much now?
Yes. So you find that people were getting between 900,000 to 1 million shillings per acre. Yes.
Per year.
Per year.
Bepping. Now, that leaves us with which one now? The other one is what?
Your Excellency, I'm Judy Saliek, a member of Parliament for Kole District in Lango Sub-Region. I'm the chairperson of Lango Parliamentary Group. Your Excellency, I would like to add my voice to the growing of maize in Lango Sub-Region. As I talk now, Your Excellency, an acre of maize can give you between 10 to 15 bags. And then the price of maize right now is between 600 shillings, 600, a kilogram. So a bag of maize right now is going to about 60 shillings, 60,000 60,000 shillings, Your Excellency. Now, when you multiply 60,000 by 10 bags, that's about 600,000 per acre, Your Excellency. We have to tell the truth here.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Your Excellency.
So therefore, please, I beg you, I don't want Gulu confusion. That Parliament met in Gulu and confused our people and said, forget the 4 acres. For northern Uganda, we have a lot of land. No, you don't have. 10 acres is not a lot of land. Because if you are going to get 1 million shillings per acre for maize or cotton, even if you have got 10 acres, how much is that? You will not get out of poverty. But with fruits, the return is very high. In some areas, it's very, very high. You can get the figures. There is a group at Kakoge. Is it Kakoge? They have got a factory there of fruits. We are supporting them. You check with them how much they are earning from fruits per acre. Cotton, because some of the areas in the north here can grow coffee. Some of the areas in the north can grow coffee. Like West Nile, they can grow coffee. Even these areas here can grow coffee. So please, my document is here. God has got a copy. Long ago, please study it very carefully if you want our people to get out of poverty. So this is my point number 1. The roads, yes, but the roads which are there are not being used fully. The roads which are there are not, yes, I know the areas which don't have good roads. I know them because I always go there. But even where the roads are good, they are not being used fully. So please, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, seek ye first homestead incomes, and the rest will be added unto you. Now, secondly, this is for all the political class. Yesterday, I was having a meeting with the religious faith with Mama Janet about the schools. And one of the issues we were discussing with the foundation bodies is the school charges. The NRM, since 1996, has been pushing for free education in government schools. But other people are pushing for charges for this one, for this one, for this one. Please, if you want those children whom you say the street children, the what? They are street children because many of them did not go to school. And what is blocking them? School charges. So the political class, all the elite, please, if you say you care about your people, support my position on free education. If you don't want to support that, then keep quiet, let the children suffer. Don't just talk. This is the second point. Seeking for homestead incomes, free education in government schools. We have been begging from 1990, it's almost 30 years now. UPE, they put charges. If there are unmet costs, bring them. You are members of parliament. I'm president here. You are there. We budget together. You come from those areas. You come and we budget. Let's block all these other expenditures. And we provide free education for the children in the government schools. Don't go and say, I am paying for children in my constituency. How many are you paying for? 10. How will 10 children in a constituency, apart from putting you in debt, solve the problems? Huh? You are killing yourself, you are killing the children, you are doing nothing. Listen to the NRM. Let's have free education in government schools. Those who have money to give to private people, they can go to private schools, the children of the rich. I started my school in Okwang near my village in Baregi. I had calculated there that if I could give capitation grant of so much, there would be no other school costs which are not made. The capitation grant is sent, but I think they still charge school fees. I have got free schools in Chisozi. They don't pay any cost. They study. It can be done. So, free education, if we want our people to get out of poverty. Infrastructure, I totally agree, especially the railway. Have we not repaired the railway line from Tororo to Gulu? Is it not repaired? They were repairing it. What happened? Works, Echweru.
Your Excellency, as you guided in Cabinet, work on Malaba, Soroti, Lira, Gulu Railway meter gauge is on. We have reached Kumi so far. There was a small technicality between us, the office, and the team working, which we have also resolved after consulting you with the Muzee Matiaka Saija. So they have resumed. The first phase will bring the meter gauge up to Gulu here. Then the second phase will be from Gulu to Pakwach.
Yes. So that for cargo, you use the railway. You tell they are saying when.
Just like I've indicated to to my honorable colleagues.
The estimated time, we call it ETD, estimated time, ETA, estimated time of arrival. What is the estimated time of arrival?
To come up to Gulu, Mzee, will take us a few more months. I don't have it readily available with me.
You check before you leave tomorrow, tell them.
I will do that.
So, now, the other infrastructure which is crucial, which is already in place, is health. You see the way NRM works, we use small, cost-effective solutions. We're able to provide security with very little budget. Now, with health, our strategy was have health center 3 at the sub-county, at the Jago, because most of the sicknesses can be dealt with there. Immunization, midwifery, malaria, they can be dealt with there. But instead of people concentrating, and you have seen how immunization has helped public health, immunization. Polio has disappeared. Measles have disappeared. All those immunized, the cancer for the girls. If all the girls are immunized against the uterus cancer. So immunization has worked. Where the problem is on the drugs at the health center 3 being stolen. And you all represent constituencies. If you have got a constituency may have about 4 sub-counties, which means you have got 4 health center 3s under you, and maybe 1 health center 4. So if you supervise these together with your network of NRM supporters, even the ones who are not NRM, why wouldn't the curative side work as well as the prevention side has worked? The immunization has worked well. When we undertake preventive measures, things move. It's a revolution. Population of Uganda is now 46 million from 14 million. What was happening before? Ugandans were marrying many women. Where were the children going? They were all going down in the ground. That's how you get the autos. Auto means he followed the people who died, I think. Now, what happened? Why are the children not dying? Because of the just immunization. But there are other measures which can be taken and improve health, like malaria control, sleeping under the bed nets, and other anti-malaria measures should be emphasized by the health managers of the district. They don't. We were able to deal with the guinea worm here in the north. Where is the guinea worm now? It's gone. Guinea worm went because of simply boreholes. Because guinea worm was coming from dirty swamp water, people drinking it. Bilharzia attacks people when they go to collect water from the river. So, just with immunization alone, we have caused a revolution in the population growth. What if we added other preventive measures, safe water, so that the waterborne diseases are eliminated, nutrition, The food is there, but the people don't know what to eat because the health officers at the district don't tell them. The radios are there for abusing Museveni only. Nobody thinks of using the radios to say, you people, you eat this, you eat that, you eat that, you eat that. You will have, because some of the diseases are from poor nutrition. The girls getting married when they are still young, before the age of 18. This is just sensitization. Say a child who is not yet 18 is not old enough to carry children. And it will either cause her problems or cause the child problems. All these preventive measures are there. But we have used only immunization. And you see how much it has helped us. What if we added all the others? So while I note this, the budget, the infrastructure, the infrastructure which you have is already good enough. Let it be fully used. If it is used, you can be sure that many of the sicknesses will be eliminated. Then we remain with the cancers, with the other diseases which are, and then we remain. But even the diseases of prosperity, obesity, heart disease, diabetes, the diseases of Jalonyo. When you are rich, you get all sorts of non-communicable diseases. They can also be stopped by exercise. So yes, we can spend more on the health infrastructure, but how about the strategy of health care, which is not just buildings and even drugs? By the time you go on the drugs, you have already lost your health. Now, the other crucial infrastructure element which you should talk about is irrigation. We launched something here near Tochi. That Tochi, what is it about? What are we irrigating there? Can somebody tell us? Tochi.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I'm the chairperson for the Agriculture Committee. And in the report that we presented...
And who are you?
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I'm Auma Linda Agnes, the woman member of parliament for Lira District.
Auma, Nyara.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Yes. Tochi irrigation scheme was one of the projects that we did oversight on as Agriculture Committee under Water for Production facilities.
What is it irrigating?
Tochi is irrigating rice.
Rice in the swamp or away from the swamp?
Your Excellency, a scheme is always in the swamp, gazetted by government for rice production.
Oh. That's Marach. Okay, Apoyo. I will not concentrate on that one so much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
What is happening to Agoro irrigation scheme? Agoro.
Your Excellency, Agoro rice scheme was for the same purpose, but it's no longer functional well.
It's also rice?
Yes.
Is there rice in Agoro?
Rice, it was meant for rice,
no,
aquaculture, but it's not functioning well.
There's somebody who knows the area.
Thank you. It's the area member of parliament.